I recently wrote my congressperson and my senator, which may have been the first time I've ever done that kind of thing. I was writing them about my feelings about an aspect of current healthcare reform that hasn't had a lot of press, and it's about forcing people who don't believe in traditional medicine to pay for something that they don't believe in. So, with auto insurance, you cannot drive if you can't get it. But with this health insurance, you apparently cannot live in this country, period, without being fined, possibly jailed, according to some versions of a potential bill. And I was emailing with a friend earlier about this and was surprised, but not really surprised, to hear that she had had that same resentment and that feeling of just not wanting to pay for something that you don't want for yourself, no matter what the justifications are behind it. That she mentioned that she trusts her body, and I've been feeling as though, even when I wrote, my congressperson and senator, I felt like, this is possibly going to have some energetic systemic effect, but I also know that my perspective is a minority perspective. But I believe at one point in my letter I called it un-American, which sounds very rhetoric-ish, but what it felt like to me was that it meant I do like living here compared to any other country. I do like that I can feel rather free here, and so what feels un-American per se is just not having the freedom to approach my relationship with my body in the way that I want to, just because mainstream sees a very mechanistic approach as the one that needs to be embraced and now forced, perhaps. So, I oppose this. If you oppose this because you have similar views, right? All you have to do is type into Google or whatever, contact my senator, contact my congressperson, or whatever, and it'll tell you right where to do it. And it'll give you an email, and just put something out there. It just takes a few minutes, and whether it has an effect or not, it does feel good to say, I don't want to be forced by some nanny state, as they say, to spend money as energy. And so what you do with that energy is a reflection of who you are. And to have something that feels like so incongruent is basically being imposed with a tax that does not, if you believe like me that your body's not a machine that's decaying on its own, but is a barometer of what is going on in your emotional state, and that you can take care of your body by taking care of your emotions and taking care of your relationships and dealing with things and living in integrity and honesty, that you can keep yourself healthy. You don't want to be taxed because of mainstream views, so stand up and speak out for yourself, and maybe it'll get more coverage that mandatory insurance, no matter what kind of noble intentions are behind it, is not fair unless you believe that everybody in this country should think the same way about health.